Back now at 10:17, we've seen it so many times, the writing, the passion, and the love for military families while overseas. And that is never more poignant than when you have a couple that has been split up due to one of the soldiers going overseas, especially in wartime. A local author stumbled upon love letters from World War II. What a find. Wait till you see where she found them and what they became. All part of this book, My Dearest Darling. We welcome Lisa Franco to the show. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to tell you, I said this, I'm fawning. I love this story. Talk about these letters, and these are just a couple of them. I'll show you those again in a moment for a reason. But you found these where?
I found them in an antique store on Cape Cod.
You were looking not for letters.
No, I have a vintage business on the side, so I'm always going in and out of stores, antique stores, looking for things. And I walked into this antique store, and I went down into the basement, and I was on one side of the basement. I looked over on the other side of the basement. There was a plastic laundry basket, and there was a sign on it that said World War II ephemera. So I walked over, and as you know, I have a journalism background, so I was very curious. I walked over, and inside the laundry basket, there were about 150 of these envelopes.
And these are some of them right here that we're going to show you close up in a moment. The story of these 150 letters, back and forth from who to who?
So they were between a U.S. naval officer, Donald Story, and his sweetheart, Marjorie. And they started from the beginning of their relationship, from when he was a midshipman attending Annapolis. Until they got engaged, got married, had their first child. It tells the entire story of their relationship and their separation, their sacrifices, everything that they endured during this war until he got out.
But the story doesn't end there. I mean, that alone is a neat little memoir. But as you said, you're a journalist, or once a journalist, always a journalist. You did a little fact finding.
I had to do a little digging. And you know, I have to say that I feel it was my destiny to find these letters. And I also feel that I needed to do this and put it into a book because it really preserves this history. And it's not just the romance, it preserves the history.
You went and found the backstory of this couple during the 5 years that they were apart, and you talked to their family member. What did you investigate?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I said to myself, I have to find how these letters got lost. Into this antique store, and I have to find the family that they belong to. It took me 3 years to find their family with the help of an amateur genealogist who found them for me. I was able to meet Marjorie, who was 91 years old at the time.
No kidding.
Yeah, they lived in upstate New York. The children were totally surprised.
I was going to say, you found that letters from Mom.
Yeah.
What did Marjorie say, let alone the kids?
Well, unfortunately, Marjorie was suffering from dementia at the time, so her children didn't really want her to upset her and let her know. But I told them what I wanted to do, and they just trusted me. I was a total stranger. They trusted me implicitly to do this.
Is this not the most amazing story?
Yeah.
I think this is stunning. The book is My Dearest Darling, and you could read all about the letters. But before we go, I want to show one more thing. If we can get a close-up. Okay, so here's one of those letters. But Lisa told me something very interesting. If you notice, the stamp here is actually upside down. But that's code for something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a secret code that means I love you. And, you know, I mean, that's what this book is about. It's about romance, but it's also about history. And it's about, as I said, preserving this history. And since it's before Veterans Day, it's really a way to pay tribute, you know, not only to them, to him as a veteran, because he was on 3 different ships in the Navy, but to pay tribute to all veterans.
Absolutely. A remarkable story of love and history. Lisa Franco, we'll hook you up at fox61.com if you want to get this book, because you want to get this book. Pleasure to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for